everybody. Had some issues, so we're going live on this group instead of over on the page. So I went live a couple minutes early so that we have time to, hold on, it's jumping all around, for people to actually find it since I am in a different spot than normal. So I'm going to go ahead and share this to my group while we're waiting for people to find us, because this one is different. So hopefully you're receiving the notifications. I see 2 people have joined me. Let me turn my volume off. Let me know that you're here. I can see 3 people are with me now. So that we can get the party started. There we go. Wait for some comments to come in. So happy World Card Making Day. Some of us scrapbook, some of us make cards, some of us do both, some of us dabble in lots of things. So some of us, like myself, anytime we have an excuse to sit down and create something, or to use the Kiwi Lane slogan, play to create something, it's a great day. So we have a nice, crisp fall day here in Tennessee. It is fabulous outside. It's in the 60s, or it was. It's probably going to get a little warmer about now. I haven't been out in a couple hours now. But it is fabulous, sunny skies, a few puffy clouds, and that kind of stuff. So let's see, Jody is here. Hey Jody and Debbie. So hopefully people will start finding us since it's in a different spot. I know Amy was going to share this so that they could find us, because due to technical issues, we're not over where all the others have been recently. We're back to doing just a straight out live on the Kiwi Lane group, the Play to Create group. So hopefully Amy's gotten that shared and we can get everybody here. We're slowly adding people in, showing we have, well, it's jumping all around, 12 and 15 people. But happy Saturday. I hope you have had a great day so far, and thanks for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and get started, I think, because I don't want to just sit here and ramble. As those who know me know, I can sit and talk all day long, but you're here to see, or hopefully to see, the card making idea book that Kiwi Lane came out with not too long ago. I know some of the others on the yesterday and today for all of our lives. I hope you've been catching those as we celebrate World Card Making Day. Several others have pointed it out, and I know a lot of you have had a chance to actually buy this. But it's a cute book. It's actually good. Someone goes, oh, it's smaller than the other idea books. Yes, it is. But cards are smaller than a scrapbooking book or a scrapbooking page. So just think about that. But this actually makes it more portable to me and easier to take to crops. And then as someone on Zoom last night was saying, I can't remember who, there are other ideas in here other than just cards. There's tags. There's a couple of frames. There's some other stuff going on in this book, and you can use any of these cards to actually make a page. So you can go in, and if you wanted to do that, this gives you ideas to spark your creativity, so that you could go in and take this and put these ideas on a page and just do it on a larger scale. Or some of the other ideas that are included in here. But there's over 350 handmade card ideas and 40 DIY paper craft ideas, all in the lovely pages of this little book that is 176 pages long, not counting the cover. So this is available. It is not on sale this weekend, but we do have lots of sales going on. But this card idea book is $18 if you do want to buy it. It does ship separately from your other orders, because this can ship medium mail because it is heavy. It's lots of paper. So they have found that medium mail is the cheapest way to ship this. So if you ordered templates and this, they would ship in 2 separate packages to make this cheaper to actually get it to you. So Trudy says she just purchased it. You convinced me, and it was on. Oh, it was her on Zoom. There you go. So there you go, Trudy. So this weekend, in case you have been so busy, your head buried in the sand, or something's going on that you don't know, we have a new card variety pack that was just released Thursday night to Kiwi Club members, and then yesterday it became available to everybody. It's a new Christmas card variety pack that is $15 if you're not a club member. I can't remember the exact cost. It was $13 and some change if you are a Kiwi Club member, because you get a discount for being a club member. But you can order that now. That's to make 10 Christmas cards, and it does have one new template in it that is like 2 Christmas bells together that makes, I told Kelly, who's been working on her son's wedding pages, that it would make, you know, great wedding bells, those kinds of things. But it is 2 cute bells, and I don't have it here because obviously it just come out, so I don't have one to show you. But that's available over that you can order, and that is $15 for non-members, and you get a discount off of the $15 if you are a club member. But this weekend, in honor of World Card Making Day, they are having a sale for the quick card paper kits, which are really cool. And I meant to grab one out, and I think I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to grab one of those out. But the quick card kits are on sale for 30% off. Also 30% off are all the tiny borders that you can use that are really cool to use on, this first one that I'm finishing up, I've already started, is using Blissful. These are great to use on scrapbook pages as well. So if you haven't invested in some borders, yes, some of these look like our big borders, but on a smaller scale. So right now you can look, that one is 5.5 inches. I have laid this down on a page. If I lay this up here probably to where you can see it, it would be better. But I've laid this on a page and traced. And then what I've done is just flipped it and traced again to get, you know, the 12 inches there. But you can also play around with it. You can add different ones in if you wanted to and create some crazy funky borders. But I have used these on pages to create 12-inch borders. But I've also used the card borders, as like I was telling them on Zoom last night, they make a good shelf. And I have a picture here. It's on Mackinac Island. So you can see if you extend it just a tad, and some of the other mini borders are 6 inches, so you wouldn't even have to extend it. This is one of the older ones that's actual card size. Some of the others are 6. So, but you could extend this very easily by just continuing on that same angle. But it makes a cute shelf, as I call it, to actually sit a picture on, so that you can add accent to one of your pictures on your page. Again, I've used this for lots of different things, not just cards. I use them on my scrapbook pages as well, because you get a nice variety. So even though it's similar, you get more, because this on a scrapbook page, you would have far less that's able to fit on a card. So it would be one big hump, so to speak, than having a bunch of little ones on there. So you have more detail going with the card ones. So, hey Kelly and Deborah from New Jersey. Nice. Been to Jersey and the airport. That's about all I've seen of New Jersey. But anyway, so those, the tiny borders are 30% off this weekend as well. The pocket paper kits, I know Jody was highlighting Time to Shine earlier, and when I was pulling out things to make cards with you today, I pulled out things that I have used. You can see I've made pages. This is cut up. I've got pieces cut out of stuff here. I've made pages with this. These are pocket page kits, but they are the steal of the century before they were ever even on sale today for 50% off. The best day ever is one of my favorite ever pocket page kits. This is on sale today. These were normally $8. Now they're 50% off. Guys, you can't beat it with a spoon, as my grandmother used to say. For $4, you get this, and this has more paper in it than a regular Kiwi kit that does 12-inch pages. All you have to do is add your 12-inch background, 12 by 12 background, or 8 by 8, whatever size you scrapbook. But this has 12 inches pieces of paper in it, so that you can easily still do borders. It has a ton of pocket pages, the cards that you need. I have taught classes with this kit, and I know somebody else is featuring this one, and I know Jody featured this one earlier, but I did want to show you. This one has nice bright colors in it and has some awesome cards. The Time to Shine kit has some awesome things in it as well. You can see like where I've cut off different pieces out of these things. But I like to use my leftover kits that are scrapbooking wise to actually make cards, so that when I need cards, I actually have it. So, hey, Trisha and Jennifer, thanks for joining us. But as you can see, there's all kinds of cool cards in here that would make good on pages, on scrapbooks. If I show you some of these, I know Jody already highlighted some of them. This would be great on a card. I almost thought about making like a Mr. and Miss card for a wedding. You could use some little stickers, or cut them if you have a die cut machine, and cut out a Mr. and Miss and cut this out like with a heart. You can do all kinds of cool things, but it says like enjoy the little things. There's date stuff. Enjoy today, so that could be wedding, that kind of stuff. You and me could be a wedding, definitely. There's stuff in here about let your light shine and all that kind of stuff. But I know Jody's already highlighted that. But I pulled it out to my first one to work with today, because I like using scraps. So this is the one that I have started. And it's cut out and it's inked, but it is not glued together. And I've used pieces of that. And this was one of the cards in that kit that says cherish all your happy moments. So, and I make card front. So mine is not folded over. So my cards don't have a pretty pattern on the inside. Because to me, I feel like I'm wasting my pattern paper. And I know some people don't think that. But what I do is I make the card front and then just glue that down to a folded piece of white cardstock, so that that is on there. But today is World Card Making Day. Like I said, I know several people have joined us. And my spot today is supposed to be highlighting the card making idea book, so that some of you have this wonderful piece of beauty when you look at the colors and things that are in here. But this first one, one thing that I use a lot for cards is sentiments. I print my own, and some of y'all have been in my classes where I talk about printables and things like that. This was one of those cards there, but I use brackets a lot because they make a great way to cut that out instead of just having the plain square. There's nothing wrong with the plain square. So like if you wanted to put that on a card, you'd probably trim it down a little bit, but you could still angle that on there and it would still be cute. And I've seen cute ways of doing it, but to add a little bit to it is to use the brackets. And I use the brackets, the tiny brackets actually. Most of our tinies are what's made to actually fit on the cards. So you have tiny accessories, you have tiny borders that can be used all on scrapbooking, because you can always put small things on a bigger page. But some of the bigger things over, and even some of the regular accessories would fit on a card. So you have those different things going on. So when we look at this, I was actually looking at page 109. Some of you have this if you want to follow along. What's really cool is you have ideas in here. And I know Amy said on her live earlier she's intimidated by trying to make cards. To me, when you have an idea book or you buy one of our card kits that already have ideas there for you, it's a no-brainer. All you do is pull out your paper, get things, because everything already matches in a kit. You start matching it up and it tells you exactly what you need. And then I hear from customers a lot, well, I don't have Blissful. Well, guys, you don't have to have Blissful. You can pull out any card border. If you didn't have that top one with the big humps, you could use this and still get the same effect. Just make it thicker, trace it further down so that this is taller like that one is. You can do and substitute things in and out. You don't have to have that exact border that is listed here, or the tiny bracket. You can take the point on one of yours if you have large brackets and do that, and you can easily work with it. It's a pencil, so it erases, and you could get this part out of using your large brackets. But to save you time, these are much easier, and they come in lots of different shapes. There's actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, 4 tiny brackets, and you can see they use tiny brackets 3T here, but I actually substituted tiny brackets 1T to fit, because mine is not a long skinny sentiment, mine is a tall one. So I used a 1T. Oh, thank you, Trisha. Hey, Cynthia and Dawn. So when you're doing this, some people I know, they want theirs to look exactly like what is in a card or what's on the page or the design, but you don't have to. Make it go with what you have, or with what scraps you have, or what sentiment you plan to use, and that kind of thing. So this one is on page 109. It is the middle one, because I knew I didn't want my sentiment hanging down on a card. I wanted mine coming up, because we're talking about happy moments. You know, you're up, you have that feeling of euphoria. So I wanted to do, I was thinking up, not facing down. So that was just me thinking about that. And when I traced mine, I had some pieces that were slightly longer, so I'm going to have to trim off my edges here in a minute. But that also gives me some leeway to play around with to see which side that I actually want on the page. So I am going to go ahead and put these down. Are you guys making cards along with me today? See, that's hanging off, but that is easily trimmable. I use my tape sparingly. I know some of y'all are heavy-handed with the tape, but I like that. Use less. And then I'm just going to trim these off. There we go. And right me. Oh, stick my finger on it. Re-ink that. This side's sticking off just a tad. And re-ink that guy. Okay. Get the scraps out of the way. And then this, you notice on here, they have a lot of that showing at the top. Well, if I lined mine up the way they did, kind of with where they meet, then mine would be sticking out. So I wanted more of my blue or teal color to show. So I'm moving mine down a little bit. And then I used, this had some, Time to Shine kit had some borders pre-printed in it. I could have used the arrows with the heart on the back, which would have been cute, but I already had a lot of peach going on. So I wanted something that wasn't solid peach this way. Hey, Gwen. Cynthia's making cards. Good. So I'm glad somebody's making along with me. But so I pulled this out with the arrows so that it's highlighting that sentiment and pointing straight to it, and it's keeping the eyes on the page. But I could have very easily used any of those. But yeah, I was going to say I forgot to ink it, but no, I didn't. But you could see how that was if I'd cut it the other way. If I wanted to move that, it wouldn't fit over here, but I could do a heart and an arrow. But I wanted something that stood out more and actually pointing to the sentiment. So I'm going to have my card look like that. You can put some adhesive on it and pop dot stuff, but I'm not going to put pop dot this part of it. If you're mailing something, you always want it flat anyway. So what I'm going to do is I can leave it flat, but you can also go in and add in any of your bling. Like I laid this out that I could put on there. Hold on. And get this tucked in here. Pointing, I want that pointed right to it. And then that is down. So that if I wanted to mail this, I would tape this down to a card front of solid white cardstock, and then I could mail it because it is flat. There is nothing sticking up on it. But now if I'm going to hand it to someone, you can always go back and embellish with pins to add something to it. Like if you wanted to add a border around it, you can go in and use something like your enamel dots or like these goosebumps. And actually, like right here at the tips of that little swirl, you could actually put something on there to add some bling to it. This is what I plan to use as a wedding card, you know, sending them a gift, giving them money, because it could be birthday, I guess. But I'm thinking cherish all your happy moments is like a bit of advice for someone getting married. So there is that first card if I don't throw it away. And that's just, like I said, a card front that I would mount on that. So then the next one that I need a card for is, I have a friend who is a fellow teacher of mine who is also my travel buddy, one of my travel buddies that helps me take students all around the world. And her dad this week is from Mexico, and he went back home, and he was actually beaten and left on the side of the road to die. They found him, but his brain was swelling, and they had to do all kinds of stuff, and he ended up not making it. So she flew home day before yesterday to Mexico, or not flew home, she doesn't live there, flew to Mexico to help her and her sisters to claim his body. And so I need a sympathy card. So I know we use lots of birthday cards when we do lots of things, but I currently need a sympathy card. So this is a birthday card, but this is the design that I plan to use to show something simple. But what I did is, me and her have a crazy sense of humor, and we like picking at each other and doing different things. So this is going to be a sympathy card that's a little different than other sympathy cards. So I'm going to use one of the previous Kiwi Club kits. It's March, might have been March of this year, I think, 2020. But I'm going to use the card that says, if you were a cactus, I'd endure all the pain just to hug you. Because that's what I want to do right now, is to give her a big hug. Even COVID related, that's where my mind went with cactus and prickly, and we're not supposed to be hugging and all that kind of stuff. So I'd endure all the pain just to give her a hug right now. So I saw this when I was looking through my kits and scraps of stuff. So I wanted to pull that out. I don't think I used that card now that I think about it. Yeah, Jody, it was crazy. We've been doing... Can't touch this. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I didn't use it. After I said that, watch me already have used it. Have a cactus day. Hope your birthday is on point. You can make a birthday card with this. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, I didn't think I'd used it. If you were a cactus, I'd endure all the pain just to hug you. So I'm going to look... and I'm going to use this card. You can see how this will fit in right there on the left-hand side of the card. And it tells us here that this is Delight 4 and 5. I'll set that up there out of the way for a second and pull out that. I'm so sorry for your friend's loss. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's been crazy. She's been posting. They gave her a run around in Mexico, too. Trying to claim her dad's body. It took them a little bit. So let's see, it's Delight 4 and Delight 5 are the two that were used. Oh, and what I started telling you earlier is some of the other things you can use for this is you have different like these that are on sale. You have our card making sampler set. We have had 3 sampler sets so far. Scrapbooking 1, Scrapbooking 2, and this one. Right now, Scrapbooking 2 and this one are available the last time I checked. Guys, if you haven't already, this is the easiest and cheapest and quickest way to add to your stash. If you're like me and you still have all of these kits, or you have all of the Kiwi Lane templates, look how many you're getting in here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 templates that are a variety of different ones, all in this one kit. And they were Kiwi class kits. This is all for $10. So that is less than $1 per template. Yes, I have all of these, but yes, I took one of these and actually put them with my extras, because when you're designing a scrapbook page, maybe not so much on a card because it's smaller, but you could need to. but you're wanting a star here and you want to reciprocate and put a star on the other page, or a floral 1T, you can see that's backward there. But if you're wanting to put one of the little cloud, as I call it, or one of the flowers or whatever, the balloon on one page, you have one in the set, but this gives you a second one to reciprocate on the other page. So the Still of the Century to me is any of these sampler sets, and that is one of the categories you can search under there. And you should see the Scrapbooking Sampler Set 2, which would give you some extra borders and different things to use. And then the Card Making Sampler Set are both available in there. So I wanted to point that out because that is a great tool to sit down and make cards. If you've never made cards, you could start out with this and be able to sit down with anything. And because this gives you 4 borders, so like if you didn't have these, I could be making a card similar, just substituting these borders instead of these. So to me, this is a great deal if you don't have these. It adds to it, just like people order multiple photo sets and things like that to have extra photos when they're designing their page, to have that photo template laid out. I use extras of these, so I actually have one of each of the sampler sets in my kit so that I have extras of some of these. And what I do is I just go ahead, like this one I would store with my tiny accents, that one with my tiny floral. I do not keep my card making sampler set together, or my scrapbooking one either. I put them with their actual set, so I have extra things to design with. So is the sale over the sampler set today? No, this is always available, Trudy, until it sells out. There is not a sale on it because it is already such a great deal that you're getting that many templates. If I get that up there closer for you, because you're getting this many templates for 10 bucks. So it's such a great deal. This one is not on sale today, but I did want to point it out. Because a lot of people think, oh, I have all the templates, I don't need a sampler set, but it's actually a really great deal. And then just because Card Variety Pack is one of them in there, it has all the card bases in it for you already. And then it has those templates that you can do, and it also has these stickers and cards in there to make these. So if you're needing some cards and you don't want to have to sit down and design things, this shows you what you can make with this, and it all comes in here together. So you have those things available to you so that you can go in, and since we're taught it's World Card Making Day, and actually do that. So I'm going to make this one next. This is on page 33 if you're using your book. Again, I'm making a sympathy card using an old Kiwi Club kit that says it's the March Let's Stick Together. And my friend and I have, she and I, you know, send each other silly memes, and, you know, we have a great relationship. She travels with me. And so, with COVID going on and not being able to hug, and her having to go to Mexico to claim her dad's body, this is kind of like a little, trying to lighten the mood, to joke with her and say, you know, if you were a cactus, I'd endure all the pain just to hug you. Because I'm sure she would love a hug right now in Mexico, because her husband's not with her. He stayed here with their son and stuff. So my friend Sandy is who this is going to. But here you can see they have 2-color background and then the white card. I'm not necessarily going to have this white piece on the other side because this isn't long enough to make a card front. Hey, Mary Jo and Sherry and Trisha. So I'm just going to have this here, and then I'm going to have those, and then have some other piece over here. So I'm going to have like the teal and the background back there. So I'm going to look at my papers. And so that looks pretty good. And let's see, I covered up my design. And I don't know which ones I'm going to use, but I like these patterns to add some color. I don't need the llamas. There's some whites if I want it. So I pulled these 3 out. And again, this is some old Kiwi Club kit from several months ago. So I pulled these out to actually use and make a sympathy card to send her. And I know this is not your typical sympathy card, but everybody is different, right? So The first thing I want to do is to think about layering those. Again, this uses Delight 4 and 5 and Tiny Charm 6T. And I'm going to make this card similar to that and make it myself. So I didn't get out the Tiny Charms yet, but I will. So when we're looking at this, it says, happy birthday to a great guy. Mine's going to be this sentiment. I'm trying to think. I think I like the pop of that color. Or do I want it on that? I like all of these. Arrows are pointing that way. But if this is going to be on the left, I want the arrows. See those arrows? I want them pointing to the sentiment. What do y'all think? Which one should be this orange card be matted on? The more solid teal, the arrows, or the white one? Which one do y'all like? I think a white one is not a good choice there. It can be a background. I think it needs to be one of the two teals. Which one do y'all think? And in the meantime, while y'all are giving me that answer, I'm going to pull Tiny Charmed. There's Tiny Charmed 6 arrows. Sharon says. Sharon likes the arrows. Yeah, it adds a little something and pulls out the orange, doesn't it? Okay. So Sharon's the only one that's answered. I'm sure y'all other answers will pop in, but... Oh, look. Jody likes the white one. Let's see. So, Jody, I am going to use, since we're using that one, it's not going to be too busy. If I have this, let's see. Trying to decide how I'm going to mat. That's orange. That's orange and different. On the back side. Let's do the green. So I'm going to use the green as the solid base. And cut this. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 if you're making a card front is the normal size A4 size. All you do is take an 8 1/2 by 11. If you cut it in half, will make you 2 cards. And then, of course, half that again to get the card front. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is the right size for that. So there is my card front. There's going to be green. And then I want to make it slightly smaller because I'm going to have this on top of the green to mat that. So that looks like about 1/4 of an inch. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it would be 5 1/4. Or if I'm going to do, let's do 1/2 inch. I'm trying to decide. I would give it 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So yeah, I'm going to go 5 by 3 3/4 to get my mat. You can make yours whatever size if you're making the same. Mine's going to be smaller mat than what they're showing in that picture, but that's okay. I want more of my green to show. So I have that there. And Jody, never fear. I plan to use some of the white that you like. So here is this that I will get on there here in a minute and trim it down. And then when you look at the design, we're going to have this over here. And I thought this paper goes fabulous with the design, the southwestern look to that. And then they're pointing to that. So I have 3 layers of things here. One I'm going to use is, let's see, is there a... These cards in here make great, if you've never used the back side of them. The back side of a lot of these sayings are just solid colors to actually use. So I am looking for something. There's a lighter. I don't know. This needs to be a darker on top, so I don't have to cut up a big sheet of paper. That's what I like to use a lot of these cards with. So we'll see. Let me get the other layers first. And I always want to make sure that it's not something that I would be using the front side for. Like Majestically Awkward, I'd probably never ever use that one unless a situation come up. But I could use this for one of the borders because in the background, if I wanted to add some lightness to it. I already got plenty of dark. Can't touch this. Cactus. There's more green. Let's see what else I have. I might cut a big sheet. Looking sharp, I could use. Hard to handle. Basically the only orangey orange one that's in there. Oh, Life is Better, Let's Grow Old, Make Us a Cactus. Let's stick. Life is Better, Let's Grow Old, makes us a cactus. Let's stick. Okay, I get it now. Took me a second. There's a lot of beauty in ordinary things. Okay, so I'm thinking, let's see. You love that paper? This is a previous Kiwi Club kit. If you're a member, you can go back and buy old ones. I'm not for sure. Actually, now that I think about it, that kit I had out earlier, the colors are very similar. I hadn't thought about that, but they all go together here. Okay, so I think big guy needs to be in the light. I could always do a peach. Beautiful no matter what shape you are. Huh. I don't know that I'd ever use that one anyway. I'd do a light, a pink, and then a dark. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. This is tall enough with leftover. I'm not going to have mine. See how they have just the borders? I think you guys can see that, yeah. See how the borders don't go all the way up to the top of the card. They just go to the top of that mat. So I'm going to draw this. And what I'm actually going to do is put it in the center so that as I cut this out, because I've got to cut each side anyway, you could line it up here and do that. But then I would just have some triangles I'd probably never use. But by putting this in the center, this is going to give me two borders left over that I could actually use as a border on another page, on another card or a page or something like that. So, let's see. Trace. Oh, moved it on myself there. Okay, so there's that one. Do all the tracing while I'm here. This one, you can tell I don't need all the way down because it's going to be matted on top of that. This, they had noticed they have the points on there. They have the points pointing opposite. So they have it basically like that, so to speak. I think I like mine. That's a perfect mat to it, so you don't want that one. But this one gives you that same look that they're doing. So on this, you always want to trace it on the right side. But if you wanted to trace it on the back side of this so that your pencil marks aren't showing and you need it to go a certain way, all you do is slide that behind it, and then you can trace over here on this side as well. I'll do the same thing and leave myself here so it gives a border that I can use. Since this is longer, I'm going to go ahead and trace all of it, but I won't be using all of it on a page. Or I say page, card, you know what I'm talking about. You guys, I told my students yesterday to make them talk. It's like COVID has taken their voice. So they have a question of the day every day they have to answer instead of saying here or me taking roll just by looking around. I asked them a question. My students at home who are virtual have to unmute and answer the question. And the students who are in class have to answer it out loud. And it's kind of a get to know you type question, so that it actually makes them speak, because they don't want to talk. So their question of the day yesterday was, what's something exciting you're looking forward to this weekend? So I always answer the question first and give them my answer. And so my answer was that I got to do this with you guys today. And they're all like, you're going live on a national page? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, and you're creating something? I'm like, yes. So I tried to explain it to them. So you guys were featured in my class this week. Cynthia says it's such a smart idea to center the borders when cutting. Yes, especially on smaller pieces like this so that you have other things to use. So, I don't want, that's not got enough pattern to it. So I think there's a lot of beauty and ordinary things. Could be a travel one I could use. Have a fan cactus day. That would make a cute card. Look at that. Have a fan cactus day. Isn't that awesome? I love the sayings they put on the cards. Was there another one that had that design? I don't see it. No. Just those. Just these three guys. I don't want to use that one for sure. I'm eliminating. I'm going to use this one because I don't. Yep. And then I'm going to trace this on there. Just to keep rambling, so while I'm working here, I went to the post office this morning to mail Kelly's package. And I was telling my husband about it when I got home. There was a guy who come in behind me, and I'm thinking, I don't know, something about him made me think something weird. I don't know, he seemed weird, and I know that's bad to say. I judged him, but my judgment was true. I went up to the next available postal person, and he went up to the guy. I went up to the female postal person. He went up to the guy that was standing next to me. He wasn't 6 feet apart, but he was a little bit over from me. But he was facing them, and I was facing forward as well. And he asked the guy about getting a P.O. box to have his mail shipped there to our local post office, and no big deal. So the guy's telling me about it, and he's like, well, you know, what number's available, you know, asking questions. So the guy goes to look. Well, while the mail guy is gone to look, this guy looked over at me, or at the lady who was waiting on me, and said, ma'am, do you know where I can go get tested for COVID-19? And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I'm thinking, oh no. So I started stepping slightly over. Thank goodness he did have on a mask. I had on a mask. The postal workers had on a mask. But she's like, no, sir, I don't know where you go. I haven't had to be tested. And so then he's like, well, I just moved here, and I don't know where to go to be tested. And he goes, you know, the president now has it. And she goes, yes, sir, I saw that on the TV. And he goes, well, I would just like to be tested to see if I have it. And we're thinking, oh my gosh. So I went the long way around to walk out to get away from him, but that was kind of scary today. So that's my story of the day. Have any of you guys had run-ins with COVID? Have you had COVID? I've had students who have it. I teach high school, and I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students who have had it so far. I've had a bunch who have been quarantined because they sat by those 5 students, but none of the quarantine students ended up getting it. These kids all got it from somewhere else. And then our Tennessee Titans, I know Jody is my, she went on my Kiwi cruise that I did, and that's how I met Jody, that's on here with us, or was on here with us. And I know she likes NFL. The Titans, we have several players and staff who have it, so the Titans game has been postponed this week, so they do not play tomorrow. It has been postponed, so the Titans Pittsburgh team, our game, has been postponed. I know somebody else, who was it? The quarterback, Cam Newton of the New England Patriots, has COVID now. So it's making its rounds through the NFL. Let's see. Yikes, that's scary. That's very scary. My son just got over COVID. He's at college. Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad he recovered. Yeah, Jody, yeah. My husband was telling me that today because I play fantasy football with the coaches and some of the other female teachers at school. We have a school league, no money involved or anything, but we play fantasy football every year. And I have Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, Jody. There you go. And the Seattle defense and the Kansas City defense on my team. And so he come downstairs a while ago to tell me I might want to swap out and not put Mahomes in this week and use Russell Wilson again. And the Seattle defense, because it looks like their game will be postponed like ours. Chiefs backup quarterback Jordan. So yeah, the Chiefs have it too then, huh? Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I just know what my husband tells me, or I get the Titans updates. He tells me the other team stuff. I just care about my Titans. I'm that weird girl that likes, well, I like NFL football. I don't watch college football. And I don't watch necessarily other football games. I only watch the Titans. But Jody and I bonded over a Titans game on the cruise. On our last night on the cruise, we went to the sports bar and sat in there and watched the Titans beat the New England Patriots. Sorry guys if you're in New England, but I do not like the New England Patriots, and I'm glad old Shady Brady's gone from there. He's not doing so hot down in Florida, but Jody and I bonded over that game because she doesn't like New England either. Because she's a Seahawks fan. So, we watched them on TV, on the boat. I think he's on their practice squad. Oh, okay. I was going to say I've never heard that name, but if he's a backup, yeah. Everybody knows, of course, Patrick Mahomes. My daughter is at college, and she was emailed on Monday that someone in one of her classes tested positive for COVID, and she has to monitor herself for symptoms more carefully. She didn't get the email saying the person sat within 6 feet of her in class. Oh, it's not showing me the rest of your skill. But yeah, my son thought he was going to get quarantined because one of the students who sits beside him in class was, oh, I got a Zoom thing popped up here. One of the, I have to snooze my Zoom group. They're chatting. One of the guys that's sitting next to him tested positive for COVID, but he started having symptoms on a Monday morning, and now the CDC and health department or whatever is telling us school level wise it's the 2 previous days before symptoms appear. So because his symptoms started on Monday morning, before when he got up, my son hadn't seen him since Friday morning. So Saturday and Sunday were his 2 contagious days, so my son didn't have to quarantine. That kid's now back at school though, so, but Baylor, no one ever got it from him that I know of other than kids who hung out with him. So, okay, so when we look at this, of course this is not inked yet, but I'm going to put this, well, that orange is bright in it, and I'm covering up the orange. That's the thing with this not showing, you can't even see the pretty orange under there. I'm covering it all up with that thick border. Maybe I'm going to do it like that. But no, this is in the middle, and that orange is in the middle the way I cut it, so it covers the orange. She sat within 6 feet of them. She'd have to quarantine. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we do that at school. We have to contact trace. I have made little table tents, that like folding sheets of paper that set at the top, on top of my computer towers in my computer lab. and every kid has been assigned that same seat from the beginning of school year. So as somebody's reported has tested positive, they email the teachers who have that student, and I have to turn in the names of any person who has sat within any 6 feet of any direction of that student. They have assigned seats at lunch, on the school bus. They can't sit with their buddies any of the times. They have complete assigned seating all day long at school. And so we've had 3 teachers and an administrator be quarantined as well. None of them we've had no teachers have COVID, but a volleyball player got it, and so the whole volleyball team had to quarantine, and also the coach of the volleyball team had to quarantine, and so it's kind of a spiral effect there. Okay, so let's look at this. Yes, they have assigned seating in her college classes. It's definitely different. It is, Gail. This was homecoming week for us, so I took pictures yesterday to show, or you know what, I can put this overlapping a little bit, and then a little bit of the orange shows there. The festivities yesterday for homecoming, we couldn't go out and do all the games and the fun stuff that we normally do for homecoming, so they recorded it, and the Queen was escorted by a family member out to the field. And then they did it live through Microsoft Teams. And so the kids sat in my classroom, my 4th block class sat in there and watched the homecoming festivities. So to document for my COVID scrapbook album, I did a selfie with us watching that on the screen. And of course, me sitting there with my mask on and the screen behind me, so that I would have that to show another way that it's different, because having homecoming with no festivities but a football game, the Queens escorted by their dads or brothers out on the field, and none of the students out there to actually see it. We were all watching it through a live feed in the classrooms, was just very, very, very strange. So just one of the many things that I've taken a picture of to document how this year is different. What else have y'all seen that's different? I know some of y'all are all virtual at school. Our kids had a choice. We had 76% come back, 24% go virtual, and they just had to fill out and re-vote for this next 9 weeks. It's for every 9 weeks. So we are on fall break. I know some of y'all don't get a fall break. We're on fall break next week. So that we're off all next, not this coming week, but the week after, the week of Columbus Day. We are on fall break, so that, I forgot what I was even saying. Hey, Patty. Oh, things are different. And so that COVID-wise, I've documented things, and the kids are back. So I've done pictures of selfie with one of my classes and told them, you know, keep their back to me to show the classroom, or if they wanted to be in my selfie, they could turn around with their mask on, obviously, that we keep them on all the time, to be in my picture. And so they did. I'm going to trim this down on the sides. So every student in there turned around. They wanted to be in my selfie. They thought that was the cool thing to do, to be in the teacher's selfie. I'm going to do this so more of my background shows. I'm trimming the sides off of this. So I have that documented to show my classroom wise how that is different. We're all sitting there with their mask on and taking a picture. You wish you could work from home still, yeah. I knew when they asked us if we wanted to come back or teach virtual, because some of our teachers are teaching virtual. They still have to come into school every day, though. The virtual teachers do, and they sit in their classroom just with those students. But I didn't know that at the time, and when they asked, I knew I wasn't disciplined enough. I knew I wasn't the best teacher back when we got out in March. So, but I don't know who was with all the craziness going on. So, I said I wanted to go back, that, and I knew my son wanted to go back. So, if one of us is going back, you know, and being exposed, when both might as well. So, Okay, so I think everything is inked now. Let's see, what time is it getting to be? Oh, yeah, good. We're coming up on an hour, so I don't want to run over. Not that it's going to take 2 hours to do this, but I don't know, it kind of looks kind of cool hanging out over the edge there. And see, now some of this orange shows through, so I trimmed it off on both sides of the card so that the orange shows through, because I'm covering most of it on this side. So this like that, and then that on top pointing to it. I don't know that I like that as well on there, but I don't think like the pinks and the oranges. Let's see. Oh, I have several comments I missed here. Let me scroll up. You have no clue what folks do outside of work, and there are still folks that think they can get it or that it won't kill them, so they don't care. I agree, Jody. Yes. Our students, that's how they get it, is on the weekends. Our local schools are all virtual for the first term. It hasn't been decided if they'll do a hybrid model or stay virtual for the next term. Now it is crazy. You know what? I might swap the sides of this, because notice where that arrow's pointing. It's pointing off the side of the page. So I'll flip the arrows, because I want these arrows pointing to this. But you always want to keep, because I teach design as well. Not right now, but I have before, graphic design and things. You want to keep people's eyes on the page. So a graphic design tip, you want to keep their eyes focused right here and not wandering off to something else. And this goes for scrapbooking too. But see how these arrows are pointing to this guy? This guy's pointing that way. If I have him over here like it shows in that example, then he's pointing off the page, and it makes your eyes follow. Whether you mean to or not, your eyes follow the arrow. So I might switch and flip-flop and actually do like this and put this on this page. So this arrow's pointing to that, that arrow's pointing there, but I still don't like the blue on the blue. I could, though, use some of my green. That's what I can do. Where's my green at? There it is. Oh, stick my arm in the ink. And yeah, I think I like the green on there because it's going to stand out better. Or, yeah, I don't think the white will show out, Jody. I forgot about using the white. You liked it. I like it too. That seems too happy and joyful to me. That looks festive. So I'm going to use this here and trace a green one and see what I think. What is on the other side of the arrow? This one, the dots. The other side. Oh, this green arrow. Life is. It was one of the cards I cut up. Just what I was going to ask, Laura. Oh, the other side of that guy, yeah. I think I'm going to like the green better. Add some more light back in, and it pulls in the green from the background. So we shall see. I can always add this on top. Do a couple of different things with it. Yeah, there's plenty on here to ink those edges. Oh, I got heavy-handed there. We'll get some more heavy-handedness since I got heavy with it. And it's a sympathy card anyway, so I don't want it too bright. Yeah, I like that better than the blue. The blue's too much blue. That adds to it. I don't know. Trying to think how we can spice that arrow up. I'll think on it here in a minute. Let's get this guy glued down. Cut off my excess here. And then I want this guy. I don't want, they don't have him lined up there. You could line that up as a perfect mat if you wanted to and do it like that, which that doesn't look bad. Obviously on the card, like that. I kind of like that. I think the green would have looked good as that one and the pink arrow, but then I don't think the pink and the orange would have looked good like touching each other, so that's why I went with what I had. But they have it to where this is intermingled like that in between there and that. So I like that better just because of the southwestern design. So this is going to be cut off some. So what else do you guys know since I've been on last? What's new other than COVID related? Hey, Angela. Something circular on the arrow is shown in the card book. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I was thinking button. I'll have to look and see what I got. Y'all throw out ideas. What should I put on my arrow that goes with, y'all can't see it probably. It's got a circle right there on it. See the green circle on it? What should I put on mine? Okay, cut the excess off. Ink these edges where I trimmed them off. Hey Marvine. And that Sharon says enamel dot. I thought of that one too. I have plenty of enamel dots and stuff over there I could use. Of course, I have these that I had out for that card that I was making a while ago as well. Wherever I stuck them. They're in that stack. Nope, there they are. It's got the orangey look to them. They aren't enamel dots, but okay. So I'm swapping sides because of that arrow. I'm going to mount this guy. And no, I'm a perfectionist in lots of ways, but when something like this, I just eyeball it and mat it. Nobody's going to pull out a ruler and measure. It's slightly closer to that side than that one, but I don't care. I almost like it just for an added texture thing that it's hanging off, so I don't think I'm going to trim it to fit like that. So the orange hanging off, showing on this side. That looks pretty even. And then I like the green. You can always pop dot this one up. This one will be mailed to her because I'm not for sure when she's coming back from Mexico again. I'm just creating a card front, but since it's going to be mailed, I don't know how three-dimensional, but I can always draw a circle and put that on there. I can look back through the kit and see the enamel dots actually came. This is a kit we had enamel dots that come with it, so I could put some enamel dots on there. I forgot that. So I'm going to leave this flat as well because it's going to go in the mail. That looks kind of good between those 2 points. Okay, so I can take, I don't know, I got a brown here. I could do that brown, yeah, on this green. Let's see. I don't think I have a spare piece of that green. Let's see what this brown looks like. Looks black. Yeah, I can kind of tell that's brown, but it's a dark brown. Oh, it's a Cricut pen. Here's a brown other one. There we go. That one's lighter. You can see the Cricut pen was a real dark brown. This one's a lighter brown. So, was thinking I could add in some lines going around some of these to highlight it. Like here, just do line dot. This one's kind of flat. It's not, the dark one might have been better. Just to add a little something extra in. Again, I'm not worried about them being exactly even and perfect. I could add it in around the outside of the card, around these guys. So that adds a little bit more, not texture, adds a little bit to it to spice it up, as I like to call it. I'm thinking I might do a line down the center of the pink. So what you can do is line this up in the center like that and do a dot and a line, a dot and a line. And get over here to where I can see it. She's going to like it no matter what it is, but you know, this is just me playing to create, sitting here, not having designed anything other than picking that card out ahead of time. So, I don't know, it's not bad. Gives it a little bit more southwestern flair. I still need to think about what I'm going to do to that green arrow. Oh, hold on. We can use somebody, I forgot who it was, talked about using the center of the tractor of Country to get cool ones. So Country has the cool center that has a bigger circle, which is kind of like, you can see that's the great thing about the templates. I'm sure you guys already know that or you wouldn't be watching. You can use other things, like that would give you a funky square. But this gives you two circles so that you have the perfect size. You can lay that on there and see that one's kind of cute, but that one fits perfectly. Now the thing is, I could cut out one of the cactuses from the paper and put on there. That might be kind of cute. Or unless there's a cactus on here. Let me do that before I cut up a sheet of paper. On a card that I'm not going to use. Hard to handle. Can't touch this. I need a small one. They might all be too big. Hope your birthday is on point. Looking sharp. I like that one, so I don't want to use it. I'm going to have to cut up a piece of paper. Stand tall, be proud. You were amazing. Novoma. Yep. I'm going to have to use this. That's okay. It gives me a bigger variety. Yes, Angela. I always try to think about, my thing is remembering to go back to Doodle or to add enamel dots to add the extra above it. So, oh look. I broke that while ago. That was together, so I broke that while we were sitting here today. Not together is broke. It's not together again. Oh no, I'll have to glue it. Let's see. That one fits perfectly. So now, if I want to use that one, find one close, like right there. That's pink and green though, and that's on green, so I don't want that one. There's two-toned. This is a very unusual. I've never made a sympathy card that looks like this. But she'll love it, trust me. She's that type. I think I like the guy with the 3 here. So, use my pencil. Trace around it. This is one we got at the Kiwi conference, in case you're interested about this funky pencil. I want to say it was Amy. Might have been one of the others that created these, and we all got one. This is the year a Harry Potter kit come out, that we had a Harry Potter paper kit come out. And so this was like a wand. You know how the wands have this that they hold at the end and do that. So before the pencil was sharpened, you know, it made it look like a wand. And she did this with glue, like a glue gun, and just did a dot of it and let it drizzle and drag between the two. And then she took just a gold metallic pen and highlighted the tops of it. So it's kind of cool as a birthday treat for things, or ours for the Harry Potter reveal. So that's what that was, in case you're curious about my funky pencil. Okay, now just in case I need cactuses later, always be aware of where you're cutting. So I'm going to go in here and cut around this guy. That way he's still intact so that I can use him. And then the fun of cutting a circle. Remember to move your paper, not your scissors. That's the biggest trick and tip to cutting a circle. And then the second one is finding the right speed to turn the paper while you're cutting. And to cut towards the back of your scissors is another cutting tip. And then inking will help your imperfect edges. Feels pretty good. I always feel around my edges if it's got a sharp point. I guess this is the one I was using. I don't see the others. A Harry Potter kit. Oh, I would love that. Yeah. I don't think I have any of that one left. You could check on the spoilers group and see if anybody has any of those left, Cynthia. I think I'm sold out of them. I used to have a bunch. They eventually sold. It was cool. Actually, just had some. I just had a layout laying here of it that I had for my demo book. Let's see. It's the pages we made at conference. Let me see if I have it right here in this stack. Oh, I do. Your lucky day. World Card Making Day that I can show you scrapbooking. It won't hurt. Here is the paper kit that was our Harry Potter paper kit. So in case you want to know. It had different cards and sayings in it, but it says potions, grimoire, something, and cauldron, wizards and witches, and then witches and wizards and magical beasts, goblins, ghosts, and magical feast. But you can see little Harry Potter glasses and these cool things. This is a layout we made at conference that year when this debuted that we got to take home with us. So, there's that. I was trying to wait and see and let it catch up. That's our cool Harry Potter paper. Old kit. Okay. So, Oh, you're welcome. You can post over there and see if somebody still has one. They were very popular. So there's my little cactus to put on there. And I think what I'm going to do is add some little doodling to him as well. And add him to it. A Touch of Magic. You're right, Kelly. That is the name of it. Thank you. I wasn't even trying to think of the name, but Kelly is correct. A Touch of Magic was the name of that kit. So, put him here. And then now I have a card front that I can take on paper and mount to an actual card. Like, if I wanted to look at my Just Because cards, I saved these and the stickers that are in here because I haven't made these cards yet, because sometimes I usually don't send Just Because, but I use the card fronts for other things. So like, here's a card that opens to the side that color-wise goes along with that. So I could just mount that card to the front. There's a gray. It's got the B on the inside, so I don't want that one. Let's see what else. But all you do is just mount it. Like, there's a gray. Since this is sympathy, you know, it doesn't have to be happy colors. And so I can do that. And then this is the envelopes that came with it that says handmade with Kiwi Lane. So I pulled these out so that I could use those card bases. So I'm just going to glue this on there. Sometimes if you don't cut perfectly, then you can go back and trim up. But hopefully this one's going to fit. Got a little bit. Mine's hanging off an edge right there. But see, now I have my card using a card base. And I can actually just slide that in, and now that is ready to mail to her, so that I can send that to her. But there you go. So that is the highlight for you. This is a wealth of knowledge. You don't have to have that creativity. It's just like using a sketch or something for scrapbooking. These are in here for you to use. So that is my version of that card on page 33. And then I made my other card for you. I was finishing up when you got on here. And that is page 109. So that middle card there, that is my version of that because I swapped it up. And then this one, of course, I really like that for my sympathy card to send to my friend because we have a unique relationship. She's one of my buddies. So with COVID and all, if you're just joining us, I would want to hug her right now, even if she was a cactus. So, but that's my version. You can kind of see it's a reverse side view of that one. So use this. You can do these. I flip through this to get ideas because using these, we have big borders, or you can use these same card borders on your scrapbook layout. But you can get ideas from this book also for scrapbooking. There's frames in here. There's square cards. You can get all kinds of ideas. Just because it's a card doesn't mean you can't use it on a scrapbook page. And then there's some like square cards that would give you ideas of layering with the scallops to put on a page. There's some of the snap frames in here that you can use for fall pages right now to give you ideas on how to layer your leaves and your pumpkins. So there's all kinds of cool things in here. It's not just cards. 350 handmade cards and 40 DIY paper craft ideas, all in this cute thing that fits in your satchel. Think of it as the size of your hand here, that makes it easily importable. So, oh, thank you, Cynthia. But that again is not my idea. I pulled it straight out of that. You have, for World Card Making Day this weekend, you can get the quick card paper kits are 30% off. So if you like that, it's just because the quick card ones are 30% off, not this one because that's a variety pack. Pocket paper kits are 50% off. Again, my favorite one is that one. The best day ever. If I'd thought of it, I would have pulled my layouts I've made with this, which are really cool because it has nice bright colors in there. Tiny borders are 30% off. The card idea book, if you want to go buy it, is $18. And then the card sampler set you can add to your stash is $10. So there you have it. Thank you for joining us. And somebody will be on shortly. Let's see what time it is. It is 3:19. So you've got about 40 minutes before the next person comes on to give you your next installment of a live for World Card Making Day. So have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. Enjoy the nice fall weather. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. I can get it to turn off. It's not wanting to end. We might stay here. Let me get up there to where I can see. There's the card, you can see. Huh. Thanks, guys. It's not ending. I can't finish. Facebook is so lovely. You love that little book. So many ideas. Yes. You're welcome, Cynthia. Let me get out of here.